Hi all! Tao, Nikki, and myself are excited to talk to you about the future of better teams, our analysis of workplace groups and teams. Throughout this presentation, we will discuss the definition of groups, teams, as well as the effective elements of teams, our own team assessment, and our suggestions for future teams.
The terms group and team are often used interchangeably. However, as outlined in this presentation, these words have two distinct meanings when referencing theories about groups and teams. Let's analyze each term to understand the difference between both. A group can range in number, totaling from a few people to thousands. But as Levi acknowledges, a group is more than a collection of people. Instead, a group is complex and comprehensive and is determined by more than its size. Groups have shared goals and purpose, and because of their common purpose, interdependence is an integral part of a group. Even more, groups provide its members a sense of belonging, security, self-esteem, social identity, and validation of their worldviews. For example, in a newsroom, one large group of journalists is comprised of multiple topic-specific teams, but all share a common goal: inform people with accurate information and hold public figures accountable on behalf of the community. Group members rely on one another for achieving this goal by completing tasks such as reporting, editing, and writing. Oftentimes, members of the newsroom will offer psychological support during difficult news gathering. The group in the newsroom share a common identity as journalists, and as such, they share values and beliefs. As with a group, effective teams have common goals and purposes. However, teams are more focused on specific roles and responsibilities and their influence in achieving goals. A team is a structured, smaller number of people connected by common goals, whose complementary skills allow members to collectively work with mutual accountability. Teams are deliberately designed and categorically arranged. Because of their smaller, specialized nature, they are less inclusive than groups. Levi says structure and order directly correspond with defined roles and require specialized knowledge and skills to interdependently complete tasks. Teams must also have mutual accountability and performance goals. And for people to be held accountable, team members must have at least some control over how they operate.
Now, we will discuss how these essential qualities of effective groups and teams assist in asserting the value of groups and teams in organizations. First, let's take a look into the roles of reflection, critical thinking, and active listening. Organizations that have strong teams see this type of contemplation at work in relationships. In instance, someone who cannot think critically about a presented idea or issue without active listening to an idea or issue first. Team cohesion and communication depend on this type of listening. Active listening such as this promotes opportunities for self-reflection and consequently public reflection. Reflection and listening such as this offer a fundamental formula for good relationship. Leaders have the opportunity to adopt a more balanced approach to leading. Working together to develop leadership through reflection and critical thinking, team leaders and members better emphasize the individual's importance in the team as well as foster a collective leadership in the organization. The next component of effective teams relies on the ability to resolve the conflict. Levi describes the conflict as a natural part of a team's operation. Teams might experience conflict at various stages, but all conflict can be categorized into two types: task conflict and relationship conflict. Both types of team conflict require a method for defining the problem, identifying the source, and then proposing solutions in a psychologically safe manner. A method for managing team conflict can either indicate team excellence or team failure, while the best solution for this method is open and frequent communication between team members and the team leader. Similarly, leaders also demonstrate good leadership when they help members separate their emotion from blame during team conflict. By supporting team members to view conflict with a positive attitude, no matter the cultural divide, and by providing constructive feedback regarding the conflict, leaders turn conflict into a learning opportunity for the entire team. Lastly, motivation and shared goals are also essential to group and team effectiveness. Motivated team members often exhibit more enthusiasm for their efforts and the direction of the team. They also demonstrate a stronger level of commitment when facing obstacles or challenging tasks. Well-set goals assist leaders in better defining expectations of team performance, fostering open communication, and aligning team goals with organizational goals. One of the most adapted goal-setting strategies is called SMART, an acronym standing for specific, measurable, attainable, relevant, and time-bound. When leaders exhibit an open attitude to feedback, they also nurture trust in the team and further encourage goal commitment, solidifying the relationships and performance of the team as a whole through proper motivation. Next, we will discuss team assessment using this presentation team as an example.
This team's process, most vividly seen through Tuckman and Jensen's group development stages, reflects the difficulty, effort, and importance of working together as a team while remaining mindful of these previously discussed team qualities. During our relationship forming, we shared work backgrounds and expectations for due dates and working together. The call spanned 2 time zones and continents, providing ample opportunity for learning about the participants' home countries and even our experiences in the organizational leadership and learning program thus far. While in a brief storming phase, we remembered to stay neutral, understand feelings rather than evaluate them, and to process feelings in the group. As due dates changed and the team hit a stalemate for a week or two, these admonitions from Levi encouraged all of us to reach out via email for progress check-ins and periodic encouragement. Eventually, we established a norm for sharing information. We also normalized active listening, even through digital means, by practicing support responses. The performing stage was relatively quick in comparison to the prior stages. Each of us experienced some difficulty in completing the task due to outside work commitments during the writing and editing week. Variable factors such as changing time zones and travel added pressure to complete the given assignment in the allotted time. However, we simply adjusted the dates once more and worked with one another to complete the assignment on time. As a culturally diverse, virtual team, this experience has proven the importance of strong structure. 2 suggestions for improved structure and focus in future teams rely on frequent communication and psychological safety solidified in the forming stage. From this point, teams can develop structured meetings as well as an overall structured team via clear roles and responsibilities. While Levi emphasizes that it is the job of the leader to structure teams by developing the agenda, ensuring that information is shared, and removing internal problems that hinder the team's operations, in temporary teams with no assigned leader, it is even more integral that each team member owns the structure and content of the meeting. This type of structure can be achieved with one member taking the initiative to send out an email with the proposed agenda of items he or she wishes to cover, and then asking others to do the same. The created issues list, that is, the agenda, allows for the development of clear goals and tasks related to achieve those goals. In social groups or work teams, team roles often emerge without formal definitions, causing role ambiguity and role conflict. To avoid this problem, this team ascertained individual preference and skill through open communication in order to assign project responsibilities. In temporary teams especially, these roles need not be overly formal, but they do need to exist. This team's suggestion aligns with the theory that roles should benefit both the individual as well as the team, which means that roles must align with individual strengths. The only way to identify these components is to openly communicate regarding them. Such open communication leads to less confusion, more focus, and better team results. Thanks for listening.